Welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. My name is Cindy D. Whitmer, and I am the Midlife Makeover Coach, helping you turn your midlife into your best life, one step at a time. Through powerful conversations, my own midlife roller coaster story, and over 3 decades of helping people transform their lives through counseling and coaching, I am on a mission to help you create your own definition of success and happiness. Thank you for being here. Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Cindy, and welcome to the Life Makeovers podcast. Today, I want to share the idea of extreme self care, which for me was first introduced by a life coach and internationally known author, Cheryl Richardson, way back in 2009. And she wrote a book about it called The Art of Extreme Self Care. And she really, really in this book is teaching us how to create a whole plan for our lives wrapped around the idea of self care. And, I know that word gets thrown around a lot, self care this, self care that, take a bubble bath, that's self care, let yourself eat the chocolate, go for the walk, call the friend. Yes, yes, yes. All those things, can be very self loving and self caring and so forth. And that's just great. But she's talking about a more intentional lifestyle of regular caring for yourself. And this is how she describes in her own words in her book, Extreme Self Care. Enjoying a life of extreme self care means living and working in a soul nurturing environment, developing a greater appreciation for and connection with nature, doing work that provides an opportunity to express your greatest gifts and talents, and caring for your emotional, physical, and spiritual health in a way that's aligned with who you are and what you most need. So that is the foundation of her teaching on extreme self care. And one of the things I love the most about her approach with this is the idea of having an extreme self care kit. So it's like a first aid kit of self care. And she recommends that we have this sort of set up in our minds and ready at all times for those times, especially when we're really struggling or life kind of shocks us with an unexpected event, or a circumstance arises that we just feel blindsided by or just very overwhelmed with. So I thought today I would talk you through some of the powerful questions that she suggests we answer to create this extreme self-care kit in our lives. Okay, so here we go. She says, number one, so the extreme self-care kit is 10 ways to take good care of yourself when you need it the most. Okay, so that's the idea behind this. But I think it's great to have these at all times. Think about these at all times in our lives. So number one, who can I turn to for support? Who can comfort me, make me feel safe, and allow me to have my feelings? So think about, 1 to 3 people that you could turn to who fit that criteria when you're in a time of great need. Okay. Who is it? And you might even write their names down and their phone numbers down or whatever. So you have them in your so-called extreme self-care kit. Number 2, who do I need to avoid? Who adds to my anxiety level, overwhelms me with questions, or who has a tough time just listening without interrupting or offering advice? So who might that be in your life? Who are those precious, precious, precious people who can really just be with you? Just sit with you in it, listen to you, and just be with you. In a church I used to attend, we called it the Ministry of presence, just being there, not feeling like you have to fix anything or run around and solve everything, but just being there with people. I love that. Just truly present with people. And who is the opposite that's just distracting and, just adds to your stress in that moment. So think about that and write those people down, couple, one or two or three. You can only come up with one. That's okay. One is priceless. Number three, what does my body need to feel nurtured, strong, and healthy? Nurtured, strong, and healthy. Now, really think carefully because a lot of times when we are in extreme circumstances, we're feeling stressed. This is when we reach for our vices, right? That typically aren't healthy for us. This is when we might reach for the alcohol or the drugs or the sugar or the carbohydrates or, overeat. Or some people's stress response is not eating. So think about how you can really feel, take good care of your body and help it feel strong and nurtured and healthy. So eating, regularly sized meals with some healthy choices, right? Hydrating, things like that. Maybe you have an even better answer. I know sometimes when I get out of my routine, I forget to take my multivitamin, for example. So keeping those routines of whatever you take that you feel are nourishing to your body. And maybe beyond that, those regular routine things, maybe for an extreme self-care kit, you need to go get a massage, or you need to have a Reiki session with someone, or make sure that you're moving more, dancing in your living room even, or going for a good walk, or whatever is nourishing, going for a swim, going for a soak in a hot tub, whatever is nourishing to your body. Maybe a long shower, there's so many possibilities. I tell people sometimes, I suggest that they just do something like curl up in their coziest pajamas or their softest clothes in their favorite chair, light a candle that smells really good next to them, and put on their favorite body butter or lotion, and just, have kind of a loving, sensual experience with themselves as well. Whatever works for you, but think about your ideas and write them down. Number 4, what responsibilities or commitments do I need to let go of to clear some space so that I'm able to feel my feelings and do what's necessary to honor my needs? What responsibilities or commitments do I need to let go of to clear some space so that I'm able to feel my feelings and do what's necessary to honor my needs? This is what your mental health days are for from your jobs, people. Mental health days are more widely offered in corporations now, or wellness days, they call them sometimes. Free days, they call them sometimes. This is one of the times, this is what they're for, is for you to just chill out, to just be able to take a day and be okay with yourself. Go take care of yourself. So think about that. Could it be a release from work for a day or a week? Do you need to take some extended time off? Is that possible for you? Is it your responsibilities if you're a parent of children? Do you need to get some backup childcare? Or if you're raising your grandchildren, do you need to get some backup childcare so you can take a break? Do you need to allow yourself not to do the chores this weekend? Like the dirty house can wait another week, the mowing can wait another few days, or whatever the laundry can stack up a little longer. What responsibilities can you let go of for a temporary time to more just nurture and take care of yourself? Number 5, what unhelpful coping strategies or activities do I need to avoid? Okay, so let's think about that again. What kinds of things do you tend to do when you're stressed that deep down aren't helpful in the end? Maybe you are a shopaholic. Like when you're stressed out, you think, well, I'm just going to go do some retail therapy. Or maybe you like to go gambling. So maybe it's a financial thing. You go spend money to feel better. You think you're going to feel better. Or maybe you would do something like go have an affair or something like that if you're really upset and struggling with certain things. Or maybe you reach for vices that are not healthy for you. So what destructive decisions have you made in stressful times that you need to avoid at this time? Think about that. Number 6, what spiritual practice restores my faith or connects me with God or a higher power of my own understanding? Now, if you do not have a belief system like that, no problem. But if you do, what kind of practice can really serve you in a time when you need some extreme self care? Is it prayer? Is it meditation? Is it chanting? Is it yoga? Is it some kind of music therapy that you do? Is it gathering in some kind of community or support group where you feel nurtured and you can focus in on some of your belief systems that really nurture you or give you hope in very difficult circumstances? Maybe you have things you read that inspire you, that really remind you of things that give you hope and faith uh, and so forth in difficult circumstances. So think about that. Number 7, what do I need to feel comforted at this time? What do I need to feel comforted at this time? Maybe it's to wear your comfy clothes. Maybe it's to, again, like schedule some kind of body service, like a pedicure, manicure, a hair. Maybe you want to get your hair done. Maybe you want to get a massage. Maybe it's more like just taking a nap. Maybe it's cuddling with your pet. Maybe it's asking for hugs from your loved ones. It could be so many different things. What do you find comforting? I know for me, a long hot bubble bath is one of the most comforting things for me when I am stressed out, or sitting curled up with a nice cup of hot tea. Those are some of my comforts there. And it definitely hugs or snuggles with people that I love. Number 8, how will I best express my feelings? Now, if you can get the wherewithal within you to not just vomit emotionally or scream, at your loved ones, or rant and rave at work or whatever, kudos to you. Most of us humans, can sort of emotionally lose it when we're in extreme circumstances. But this one, number 8, she's saying, how will I best express my feelings? So if you could, in the most ideal way, express your honest feelings, whatever they are, if it's extreme anger, if it's grief, frustration, despair, disappointment, sadness, whatever it is, how can you best express those? Find a way. Like, is it journaling in your journal? Is it talking to a close friend, one of those people you listed earlier in your kit? Is it, is it going to some kind of support group? Is it, uh, did I say writing things down? I mean, so there's so many ways. I have a couple of friends actually who write poetry to really process their feelings about things. And that's a wonderful outlet for them. Number 9, what object can I use as a talisman that will remind me to breathe, relax my thinking mind, and return my awareness to the present moment? Okay, so this is literally an object she's suggesting that you have to symbolize, to remind you to be calm. Like, I have a miniature meditation garden in my office that is very centering for me, very calming for me. I also have like seashells and rocks and sand dollars and things like that I've picked up at beaches all over the world, and I find those very objects that are very calming and soothing. for some people it might be their prayer beads. For some people it might be a picture of a loved one. Um, for some it might be a blanket. For some it might be a candle. It could be anything. But what object could you assign as your symbolic reminder to take a breath, calm yourself, and calm your mind and just get into the present moment? Because the present is really all we've got anyway. But uh this is a good reminder to kind of reel us in, right? And stop worrying so much about the future now that this has happened, or regretting a bunch of things in the past now that this has happened, whatever you're going through. But just get you right here, right now, and breathing. And number 10, what can I do when I need to take a break from my emotional stress? What is my best healthy distraction? That's the key word. What would be a healthy distraction? So, one of the things that I have taught over the years is when people are in extremely stressful circumstances, they're going through a crisis, they're going through, a giant pivot in their lives, whatever it is, I've taught that it is okay to just set your feelings on a shelf. I say, put your feelings on a shelf for a while, or put your stress on a shelf for a while and come back to it later. Because we can only take the intensity of some circumstances for a while. It's just too much, right? It's overwhelming. And we can really self destruct if we get really overwhelmed and stay in an overwhelmed state for a long time. So I would say, to do that very thing, to go ahead and symbolically put your problems, put your stress, put the circumstances, put your difficult feelings, whatever, on a quote unquote shelf, and then choose what she's saying, like a healthy distraction. What would be something that would, allow you to laugh, or allow you to rest, or allow you to feel grateful, even if possible. That would be fantastic if you could grab onto some appreciation of anything else in your life when you're going through something very, very difficult, because that'll help offset, that'll help balance out those extreme circumstances you're dealing with. So I hope these 10 things are really helpful to you, to help you focus in on the best way to really honestly take care of yourself at all times, anytime, any day of the week, no matter what. If there's nothing big shaken up, or when you're just in a routine time, or especially if you're going through an exceptional time in your life, big change, or have gotten caught way off guard with any kind of sad situation. As a matter of fact, a coworker of my husband just yesterday was killed in a car accident. Very sad. Just, that just jolted everyone uh, a lot, just thinking that, oh my gosh, he's no longer, with us the same way. And his life, feels like it was cut shorter than we would consider normal or whatever. And as I've shared with you guys too, I had a young friend die just recently as well, and went to her celebration of life, and she was 50 years old. So anyway, why did I say all that? I lost track of myself. Oh, it's just, life is precious, right? And every day counts, every day matters, and we want to make the best of any situation. And when things jar you to the core, having this extreme self-care kit ready, as Cheryl Richardson teaches in her book, The Art of Extreme Self-Care, I think is one of the greatest tools that you can have in your wheelhouse. So I hope this was helpful to you. And I wish you all the best today and this week. And if I can be of service to you, please go to cindydwhitmer.com and look at all the options that are available to you, ways to experience more from me, and even set up a time to talk with me if you would like to. So I thank you for being here, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Life Makeovers podcast. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with those that you think would also benefit from what we're doing here. And I will talk to you again soon.